Everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is of course Jack and welcome back to Lumber Tycoon 2. Hope all of you are having an absolutely amazing week. And in today's video I'm going to be showing you the ultimate beginner's guide of playing Lumber Tycoon 2. Guys, if you are new around here, please do consider subscribing. We're so close to 12,000 subscribers, it would be great if you could help me out with reaching it. So I've actually overwritten one of my old slots, so I'm completely starting from fresh. As you can see, I've literally got 20 money, have no axes on me or anything. So it's just me, my cactus and my flamingo floaty that are here in Lumber Tycoon 2. I'm in a private server as well. Starting off, you will start off and load here right in front of Wood R Us. You're going to want to walk straight into Wood R Us, and straight in front of you, you will see the yellow boxes, and these are basic hatchets. These are the first axes that you can purchase when you start in the game, costing 12 money, and it is the worst axe in the game. I'm pretty sure anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the worst axe in the game. Yes, we want to purchase the basic hatchet as obviously we start off with 20 money. We want to open our axe by clicking E. And there we go. We have our basic hatchet in our hand. So once you've bought your axe, if you have a cherry tree in front of you, which is one of these pink coloured trees over here, definitely chop that one down first, as they're going to be the best ones to go for. But as we haven't got any close by to us, I'm pretty much going to just go and straight away cut down one of the oak trees that are in front of me. This may take a while. Okay, so we've now cut down our oak tree, and you're going to want to take this tree over to the side of Wood R Us, just where you see the wood drop off. Now, a lot of people, when going and dropping off their pieces of wood, they will chop up every individual piece, but that wastes a lot of time, to be honest. It's actually a lot quicker if you just jump backwards, dragging the tree, and drag it into the wood drop off, and then sell it off whole. And as you can see, that sold off the first piece there, that's selling off all of these pieces. And that saved me a lot of time, considering how much time I would have spent chopping that with the basic hatchet. With the basic hatchet being the worst axe in the game, yeah, it's not worth doing it. Another thing to bear in mind when you're starting off in Lumber Tycoon 2, do not go for these massive trees that you see over here. They're actually the cheapest trees in the game, so they're definitely the ones that you don't want to go for. Your go-to trees are going to be these oak ones here, or the cherry ones, which are the pink coloured trees over here. So by selling this second tree that I'm chopping down here, that should get us to around 100 money, and by getting to 100 money, we're then going to be able to purchase our first plot of land. There we go. Sell off every piece that we have, and as you can see, we now have 176 money. So right next to Wood R Us, you can see another store, and it's called Yes, It's the Land Store. You're pretty much just going to want to go and speak to Reuven, which is the guy behind the counter. Here he is, and we just click E in order to speak to him. It's going to say, so you want some land? Yes, I do. And you're pretty much going to want to select any piece of land. I would say probably the best ones to go for are the ones that are closest to the store. So I'm going to go for this one personally, just because I think that's going to be closest to the wood drop off. And as you can see, it's given us a sign that says sold to Mr. Jack UK. Now, you're only going to want to walk back to the Wood R Us store, and then you can actually reset your character. By resetting your character, bear in mind you are going to lose your axe. However, that doesn't matter because we can go and get that back from outside the front of Wood R Us. So now you can see you have a sign which is on your base. Go up to the sign and click E, and that's going to remove it, and you're then going to be able to pick it up and walk with it. Pretty much you're going to want to take this sign to the wood drop off, as this is going to give us around 400 money. So here we are just back at the wood drop off. We're actually just going to want to chuck this in here. So the sign itself, I've just found out, can give anywhere between $400 to $600, although it's more common to get $400 than around $600. As you can see, I can just go ahead and click E on my axe and I'll pick that back up. So with your money, you're now going to want to go ahead and purchase your first car, which is this car just here, and this is the basic utility vehicle. So it's 400, yeah. Okay, so purchase that. There we go. We've just purchased our first vehicle, and instead of carrying it all the way back to your base, just click E on the box, and then you can zoom out and then place it down on your base by clicking E, and then that will place that down on your base. As you can see, I had some extra money left over from going and selling the sign, so I'm actually going to go ahead and purchase my first sawmill as well, and that's for 130. There we go. Again, you can open that and then just go ahead and place it on your base from the distance from the shop. So just because the basic hatchet is so painful to use, I am going to go ahead and buy this axe. Now, I usually wouldn't buy any of the upgraded axes until the hardened axe, is it? But just because the basic hatchet's so ridiculous to use, I'm gonna just take this axe instead. So I've now backed down to 7 money. However, on my base I have a vehicle, and I also now have my first sawmill. So if you're in a public server, one thing to now do once you've got stuff on your base is to go to menu, go to blacklist, and you want to blacklist every single player by clicking on their name on this list, unless you know them, of course. Unfortunately, Lumber Tycoon 2 is infested with exploiters, which some of them are, are nice people. Unfortunately, some of them are there to try and grief you, though. The worst thing to do once you're starting in Lumber Tycoon is to get griefed by an exploiter that will go and fling all your stuff. Now, they can't fling things that are obviously secure to the ground, such as the sawmill and such as your vehicle spawner, but if you're milling out wood and then someone comes and flings it all everywhere, that's really annoying and something you want to try and avoid. But anyway, we now have our shabby sawmill. Now, luckily, right next to our base, we've got 2 cherry trees and one a little bit further away. As I said, cherry trees are actually worth a decent amount, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go and collect a cherry tree, and we're going to go and sell that off just to give us a bit of a boost money-wise. Now, at the moment, we can't afford any other conveyors, so we're just going to literally have the wood dropping out the other end of the sawmill. However, in this video, I will go and show you how you can go and place conveyors. So if you have a tree, which is obviously, you know, this one is a fairly big tree compared to the oak trees that we have been cutting, go to like the, you know, the bottom of the tree. Instead of just cutting this piece here, cut at the joint, because then that is going to cut all of the pieces of wood and they will simply just all fall apart from each other. It's going to save you, what, considering how many branches, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to save you 4 chops. You can just chop all of these in one chop. So now we can go ahead and mill our first piece of wood. Now, if you're obviously, you know, with a shabby sawmill, make sure you haven't got shift lock on, otherwise you can't rotate wood. You may find with the shabby sawmill, obviously with it being the starter sawmill, it is quite difficult to mill bigger pieces of wood. However, don't go and think, oh, I need to wait until I buy a bigger sawmill. You can go ahead and place this piece of wood on top of your sawmill, just like so, into the middle, making sure that the wood isn't longer than the sawmill itself. You can then go ahead and click E on the sawmill, which you won't be able to see because my face cam is covering it, but there is a little E check that you can see right there. Go and click E, click move, and then zoom into first person. You can see then the piece of wood. Simply drag it down and then click B in order to quit doing this. And that will then go ahead and mill out the wood. Now, one thing that I always forget to do is to change the cloth, that is not a word. One thing I always forget to do is to change the cross section. So you want to go and make these like the biggest numbers that they can go to on the shabby sawmill, which is 1.8 by 1.2. It's then going to produce bigger planks of wood, which is obviously easier to transport over to the wood drop off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of this tree up so I can go and sell this off. So I'm not going to go ahead and chop up the rest of this tree, obviously, because this is only a demonstration of my advice of what new players should do when joining Lumber Tycoon 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and sell this off, and this will give you a, you know, a good idea of how much money a whole tree would give you, considering this was only 3 branches. So if we go ahead and sell these off, that there has given us 100 and what was I on 7? So that's given us around 125 on there. It's given us decent money. This was the main trunk of the tree there. So we've now got 400 money to our name. There we go, so just going and selling off those few extra pieces has given me enough money in order to go and purchase the next axe, or the axe after the one that I purchased first. So we're going to ignore this one just here, which is the steel axe. We're actually going to go ahead and purchase the hardened axe for 550 money. Okay, so now you've got this axe. This axe deals a decent amount of damage compared to the other 2 axes that we've previously bought. And seeing as we have a car now, we're going to go ahead and collect a different type of tree. The tree that we're going to go and collect are these trees up on the mountains here. As you can see, these up here, these are birch trees. They're also obviously known as white trees. If you collect birch wood and go and mill it, it's going to give you $15 per unit, which is a decent amount, to be fair. So this is why this is one of the favourites between the community when you're starting out for grinding money. And with these starter vehicles, you don't want to go and overfill them because they can become rather uncontrollable, which will probably lead to all the wood falling out of the vehicle. Okay, so that's one whole birch tree that we've just chopped down right now. We're going to take this back to our base and go and mill it out. Once again, this piece may be just slightly too big for the entrance there. One thing to bear in mind is that these sawmills can only take 10 units long, so this one here is probably around 10 units bang on, so it's probably going to need to be cut just at the end here, just so it fits through the sawmill. There we are, and exactly the same, clicking E on the sawmill and dragging the piece of wood down and hitting B. There we go. That's just going to mill out that whole piece of wood there. And just to make a point, you can actually rotate the wood while you're holding it by clicking Shift and then S, A, and W. That will obviously, the normal keys that you would use to move around. That's going to rotate the wood in order to make it easier for you to maneuver it into trucks or into your sawmill. And again, we're going to go ahead and sell off this full truck, bearing in mind this was one whole birch tree, so this should get us a decent amount of money. So we've just got 1,423 money from doing that there. So now we're going to go ahead and purchase some conveyors, and that's just going to make our life easier when milling out wood. So you want to make sure that you're buying the right ones, obviously, as there's many different types. So these are the straight conveyors, which cost 80 each. So we're going to go ahead and purchase a couple of these. We're also going to want an opening conveyor, which is, I think, this one. No, that's left switch. For some reason, there we go, funnel conveyor. Some of the pictures haven't loaded on the front for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why they've done that. Now we're just going to want to go ahead and place this over there. Happy days. And we're going to want to go and buy blueprints. So you do not want to buy these stands here. These stands cost 12 money each. And, you know, if you want to put one under every one of them, bearing in mind if you want to, like, have it climbing, it's going to be way too much money. So do not waste your money on these. So instead of purchasing those stands over here, come over to the blueprint section and purchase the large floor. Now, this is about 80, I'm pretty sure. 80 money. You just want to click E, and then that's going to add it into your inventory at the bottom here. And we're also going to want to purchase a... Let's have a look. Short fence. What do we want to go around it? Yeah, we'll buy some of these just to go around the base to make it look a bit nicer. Obviously, I'm not going to go and decorate my base and everything to make it look nice just because this is a demonstration. So I'm going to go ahead and build like a small setup on my base with my conveyors that I've purchased from Wood R Us. But do bear in mind, if you want to further expand your land before going and building, you can do so by going over and just speaking to the guy at the land store again. It does get pretty expensive to expand your land after you've expanded it once or twice. So if we go and expand it again, so to expand again it's 3,000, and then it gets up to like stupid money. I think it costs altogether to expand your land altogether. It costs about 1 million, I'm pretty sure. It's actually really dark. I'm going to turn my truck lights on. You could go and buy work lights if you wanted to, but again, that's just more money, and you probably don't want to be spending too much money at the minute. So go into your blueprints and click floors and click large tile. You're going to want to place these large tiles. I'm going to have my conveyor just in the corner here. Actually, no, I'll have it just in the middle, so there. So I've placed those two now. I'm just going to move my sawmill to realign it with those blueprints that I've just placed. There we go. My straight conveyors up to the sawmill just here. Funnel conveyor right at the end. Obviously, it's optional how many conveyors you have up until the sawmill. With this one, actually, I've put too many, so I'm going to move that. So once you've placed these on top of here, the blueprints essentially fill the gap between the floor and the conveyor. They do the same job as the conveyor stands do. Once you've placed the conveyors on, though, you just need to go and click destroy on the blueprints, and then they'll disappear. And then you can see your conveyors are just floating, and another tilted conveyor on top of that one. And I think we'll go for one more tilted conveyor just there. Okay, so now fingers crossed, if I just drive around the back here. Yeah, as you can see, it could do maybe with being one more higher, but I think that that will do the job for me for this demonstration. I'm going to go ahead and delete these blueprints underneath here. And now, once I've milled the wood through, for example, we'll take this piece here, put this through the sawmill. It will go up the conveyors absolutely fine, and then it will just fall into our truck. There we go. And now we can go ahead and we can go and decorate our base with the short fences that we purchased before. Now, I just want to make a point that when filling blueprints, these blueprints here take 5 wood. So that means 5 units of wood. If we go over to the side of our sawmill and so if we set the y-axis and the x-axis to 1, that's a 1 by 1 piece of wood right there. For example, we're going to take this piece of wood here. I don't think this will be much over 1 unit. Okay, I think that is about 2.5 units right there. So that's going to say that we need 5 units. If we go and place this inside of the blueprint, that says 54%. That means that the blueprint is filled 54%. So we then just need to go and get another piece of wood, put this into our sawmill again. That will mill through. That's about the same size as the other one. Place that into there, and that will fill the blueprint. You can now see obviously that we have a cherry wood blueprint that we can go ahead and move over to the corner just here, and then obviously that will act as a fence, you know, that will keep people out. But as I say, it isn't effective. It's really just for decoration, and I definitely recommend using the blacklist for usability of stopping people from getting on your base. But if you want to make your base look nice, then you can have the option obviously to place some fences and make your base look pretty. Now, the only other thing that I want to say on this is that there is a feature in this game called the power to build. Now, as you can see, obviously when we filled this blueprint, it required 5 units of wood, as it obviously did say, it doesn't say anymore, and we had to use 2 pieces of wood, which was about 5 units altogether in order to fill it. If you go onto Lumber Tycoon 2 website and onto the store, you'll be able to see the Super Blueprint game badge, which is on there for 720 Robux. You can go and purchase the Super Blueprint game pass if you want to. It is obviously quite a lot of Robux, but it does allow you to fill any blueprint in the game with 1 piece of wood, which makes life so much easier. But from here, you can pretty much go ahead and upgrade all of your things once you've grinded out enough money. In terms of grinding grinding money, your next steps after this process here, I would recommend you going and grinding either ice wood, which is over in the ice biome just here. You can search up a tutorial in order how to get ice wood in Lumber Tycoon. There's loads on there. Or you can go and harvest lava wood, which is at the top of the volcano. You can go ahead and look at a tutorial on YouTube for that. This was literally just the beginner's guide, so it's how to get started. I'm not going into any of the advanced stuff, otherwise I could be here all day talking about what you could do in order to grind money. So I do hope this video has helped you. Obviously there is loads of different things you can do in Lumber Tycoon 2. There's loads of upgrades that you can do in order to make your base look a lot better and also function a lot better, by upgrading your sawmill once you can afford it, by going and getting different types of wood. I think there's like 17 or 15 different types of wood in Lumber Tycoon 2, so there's loads of things that you can go and do to explore. Make sure to go and subscribe to my channel if you want to find out how to do more in Lumber Tycoon 2. I've got a ton of videos, about 75 now, of Lumber Tycoon 2, different things that you can do. Like I say, we are trying to hit 12,000 subscribers. We may even hit that today after the event that happened yesterday. Fingers crossed. I really hope that we do. But in any case, guys, I will catch you in my next video.